Hey everyone, it is Michael with Urgent Backyard Orchards, and what you are seeing are a bunch of ugly, unappealing, unattractive weeds. Let me tell you a quick story about it, and I'm going to get to a really important point about weeds in this video. But the short backstory is I've had this property going on 5 years, and initially I had a gardener that would come in every week. And they would charge somewhere around $200 a month, maybe $50 per week for every Saturday. Come in, get all the weeds, keep it manicured. And as I started to build out my orchard, I was starting to realize, or began to realize, that I was reusing a lot of the stuff that they were cutting down. So they would cut down limbs and branches and leaves and put them in a green bin, and I would go harvest them before sending it out to the curbside for pickup. So it got to a point where I just didn't see the value of having a gardener in my yard because there really wasn't that much work to do. Maybe on those palm trees, if you look up there, see if I can zoom in. I can't get to that, right? So you would come in and, maybe every quarter cut down those dead palm leaves. And initially when he would pull the weeds, he would spray it with chemicals, and I stopped that real quick. I do not want any sort of chemicals or pesticides, and especially starting my orchard, didn't want any pesticides in the yard. And there's really two reasons for that. Two bad reasons why you don't want pesticides in your yard. Reason number one is fairly obvious, is that pesticide will get into the soil, and that's where the roots of your fruit trees feed, from the soil. And you don't want to recycle that into your trees and then ultimately into your body. So that's one major reason. The other reason that a lot of people don't think about is the impact pesticides have, and weed killer and things like that, specifically weed killer, is it also impacts the health of the bees and your other beneficial insects. So people wonder, why don't they have bees in their yard? And part of the reason is because people are using weed killers and different chemicals and pesticides in the yard, and it's impacting the health of the bees. There's other factors that impact the health of the bees, but that is a big contributor. And so you don't want to use that kind of stuff in your yard if you want to maintain a natural, healthy, organic ecosystem. So that's a little bit about pesticides and weed killers and stuff like that. So now back to the weeds. So anyways, I let the gardener go about 9 months ago. Didn't really see much of an impact. And then over the last few months here in California, we've had tons and tons of rain. And what happens when you have tons and tons of rain is a lot of times you get tons and tons of weeds, which is what we have here. I mean, look at these guys. Comes up to eye level. I'm 6'2", so it comes up, this one right here is right about 6 feet. And they're all over. If I walk around a little bit, you will see that they're just growing up everywhere. And in certain cases, they're looking to be almost as tall as the fruit trees. So that's not a good look. And one of the things I wanted to do with this channel is I wanted to show the imperfections. I wanted to show not just everything all polished and pristine and perfect and manicured, but kind of a real life example of what happens in our backyards. It's not always perfect. But back to the weeds. What to do? So if we think about the purpose of weeds are to be the vanguard in a food forest. What do I mean by that? They are designed to grow in places that are very difficult for other plants to grow. Harsh environments, harsh situations, you know, where there's very poor water, where there's poor sunlight, where there's, you know, just no other organic material, weeds can grow in places that very few other things can grow. Why is that important? It is important because those weeds become the food source for things to follow. That's the purpose of weeds, is to be the first organic matter into a new environment and to lay the foundation for food for fruit trees and other types of trees and animals and everything else. So as the weeds go in and they die, they decompose, and they create a food layer for other things to grow in afterwards, and a food source. So as I'm looking at these ugly, and they are ugly, these ugly weeds, I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as an opportunity. And my opportunity is, most people just take the weeds, pull them out, cut them, and throw them away. But no, this is a food source. So I'm going to take these weeds. Let's just grab one right here. Take the weed, pulls out fairly easy. Let's walk over here. And what I've set up is a compost bin. This thing is about 4 feet in diameter. Just set this up a few minutes ago. Pretty cheap, about 25 bucks on Amazon. Bought a hooked machete to easily cut down the weeds, pull them out. And in some cases, I don't even care if they come out by the roots or not, because they'll just grow back and they'll continue to be a food source. And so I'll take these weeds, I'll probably break them up and cut them up a little more fine. But this is going to become, all of these weeds are going to become a natural food source. They're going to compost over about 4 to 6 months, probably about 6 months. And it will be a solution, not a problem. You follow that? It will be a solution, not a problem. It is going to be a free source. I don't water these things. God, nature waters these. It will become cheap. Won't have to invest in organic fertilizer, which is super expensive. I've already harvested the leaves that fall and everything else I can. But this is just another addition to the organic system that we're creating in this orchard. So anyways, I wanted to take a little bit of time and just talk about a bad situation, an ugly, unappealing situation, and how we turn it into a positive by taking these weeds out of the ground that come out fairly easy and turning it into compost and into food. So that's it all. That's it, y'all. I just wanted to share that with you before I actually cut down a lot of this. I wanted to show the evidence of how bad this is looking, but also how we're going to take this and make it for our benefit. So hopefully everybody's having a great one. I have an off day today from work and get the chance to get out here in the orchard, out here in the yard, do some things that I'm behind on. There's a lot going on, planting a bunch of trees, up to about 55 now, and want to get to some of these maintenance related items. And so that's what I'll be doing today. Hope you guys are having a productive day, whatever you're doing. Hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for joining the channel. Like, subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'm going to start doing more of this kind of stuff where I'm sharing some of these insights, some of the lessons and wisdoms I'm getting along the way, and I hope that they are good information for you to benefit as well. So with that, I will sign off from this video. You guys have a great one. It is a beautiful day here in Southern California in Michael's Urgent Backyard Orchards. And look at the clouds, very few clouds in the sky, blue sky. Birds are chirping and singing. It's nice. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna have a productive day. Hope you guys do as well. And we'll talk to you on the next video. Take care. See you guys soon.